Hello and welcome to What's Up Stratford, our September show via Zoom. I'm your host, Peter Maranger. Joining me and starting the show is our Honorable Rob Black, Senator for Ontario. Senator, thank you very much for joining me from Ottawa.
Thanks very much, Peter. It's a pleasure to join you today.
So I want to start with some educational things. Why do they call it the upper house?
Well, there's two chambers. There's a lower house, which is obviously the House of Commons, and that's the People's Parliament. And then there's the upper chamber, which is closer to the monarchy, right? So that's the upper chamber, and it's the red chamber. The House of Commons is the green chamber, and that's the way it's laid out, even in the carpeting and the chairs and everything in both chambers.
Perfect. So, Senator, the Senate itself is the sober second thought. Tell us more and expand on that.
Sure. So the Senate came into being back in 1867 when our founding forefathers determined that with just one chamber there would be potential, because of the numbers of MPs that were in the four provinces, there would be a potential for Ontario to take over some of the decisions that were being made versus Quebec members of the Parliament, or Eastern Canada. And so with that in mind, they put a second chamber in place. So we are a bicameral system of government. That means two rooms, and everything that starts out in the House of Commons has to go through the Senate. And we do have bills that start in the Senate as well, and they go through the House of Commons. So has to be viewed or reviewed twice before being enacted into law.
So, Senator, there's several readings and then it gets royal assent. What is royal assent?
Correct. The Governor General grants the bill enacted, and means that it becomes law at that time. So each chamber we go through first and second reading, and then the bills are referred to committee, where they're studied in committee, come back for third reading, and if it's passed in one chamber, it moves to the next for the same number of processes: first, second reading, committee, third reading, approval. If it passes there, then the Governor General receives it to grant royal assent.
Wonderful. Now, in 2018, you were called to the Senate. How did that come about?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Well, it's an exciting time. My background is in agriculture and rural, and I was a municipal councillor between 2014 and 2018, and so I had an interest in politics, but never did I think I would sit in the upper chamber. In the summer of 2016, our son Taylor came to the supper table one day and said, well, in fact, he said he wanted to be a senator. He had realized that there was some changes in the way senators were appointed. There was a third-party application merit-based process, which had been changed from the partisan appointments back in 2015. And Taylor said he thought he'd like to be a senator. He went away. As a good parent, you say, yeah, go for it. He came away and came back again and said he had to be over 30 and have money and have land. So he said, Dad, you should apply. So I decided to throw my name in the hat. And it was 18 months later that I received the call from the Prime Minister asking me to join the Senate. And he knew who I was. He knew that I was involved in agriculture, involved in rural community development, and involved in 4-H actually, and youth leadership. So he had been well briefed. And so that was when I was appointed, and 2 weeks later I was sworn in.
Oh, 2 weeks later. Well, that's awesome. 4-H, you've had about 5 decades of leadership there. So just give us a quick update.
I was a 4-H member back in my day in Wellington County, and then got involved with it as an organizer, a coordinator through the Ministry of Agriculture when I worked for OMAFRA for a number of years, and being involved in that, then I did take on the role of executive director, CEO of 4-H Ontario when the program itself was transferred outside the government, and so I was the first CEO there. And my involvement there got me involved in the national level. I was the chair of the board at the Canadian 4-H Council, chaired the 100th anniversary celebrations, and I'm a lifelong supporter. I tell people here in the chamber and out that I would not be here were it not for 4-H and what I learned from 4-H. People skills, meeting skills, connections, and all those good things that all those HR, human skills that we learn through those types of organizations.
Yeah, it's an amazing organization, 4-H. There's 105 senators and there's 24 from Ontario. So in Ontario, what would you say would be your specialty when you're in the Senate?
My lens is agriculture and rural, and I speak up and advocate for ag and rural and youth in and outside the Senate. We aren't given portfolios. We're encouraged to do what interests us, what meets our passions, and so obviously ag and rural are our passions.
And then finally, you received the honor to receive the Diamond Jubilee from Queen Elizabeth II. How did that come about, and how did that feel?
That was pretty exciting. That was through my work with the Canadian 4-H Council and my involvement across the country over many years. So that hangs, the certificate hangs proudly in my office here, along with the Queen's picture.
Wonderful. Senator Black, thank you very much for joining me from Ottawa via Zoom. It's awesome that we can do it this way. And thank you for making a difference in Ottawa and representing Ontario so well. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks again, Peter.